Near the Wild with Matt Becker, John Norris, and Ggreg Chaille.
Hello?
That's loud.
Oh, sorry.
Are you swallowing the mic?
No, I just, I told you that it didn't work for a while like John's was last week. And and now all of a sudden it works better than ever.
Oh. Well, yeah, it is. We've got plenty of gain on you.
I would like to say thank you, Skype. Well, you know what it is nobody's on in Florida.
that was the anchor weighing it down.
Yeah, it's Florida. They constantly. Are you kidding me? They're all like, Skypey, I'm in Florida. What's your weather? My weather's hurricane-y.
A lot of call centers down in Georgia and Florida and stuff. Maybe they're.
I know the worst speaking people in the country have call centers. I think it's weird.
Bad speaking happens everywhere. Don't just pigeonhole it geographically to the lower south.
You don't know that, Ggreg.
It's everywhere. I was at the original Pancake House. I'm on the road with Doug again. We're starting the tour on the 13th in Dallas, so we got here a day early. And
no 9/11 show.
No 9/11 show. It just didn't work out. But there's I do remember this place. We're at the Addison Improv, which is that's in, I don't know why they call it the Dallas Improv, but we're in Dallas. But I do remember this place because there was an old, the original Pancake House, which they had one they have one down in Orange County where I grew up in Yorba Linda. And there's one out here. And
home of the Nixon Museum, the Nixon Presidential Library.
The Yorba Linda, California. Yes, it is.
Is that by Capistrano?
No. That's where he lived, out at San Clemente,
right
on the point there. Hello, John.
What do you have?
Hey.
The original Pancake House. That's a good day, actually. I would suggest getting there a little bit after the morning rush, unless you go during the week, and get the 49er pancake, or the thin and chewy, I like to call it, and then head on over to a presidential library of your choice. The closest one in Yorba Linda would be the Nixon Library.
Are there any others in Southern California?
I don't think so. I've seen there's another one somewhere in the Midwest that I never got to.
There's Hoover. You can go to Hoover's in Des Moines.
Oh no, I think he meant
Des Moines.
I think he meant the Pancake House.
Oh, I thought you meant presidential libraries.
Yeah, there's.
No, I did mean presidential libraries, but I'll take pancake houses.
Yeah,
they should combine the two. That'd be a great marketing thing.
Oh, the presidential. Oh, you know, Trump's presidential library is definitely going to be some sort of like restaurant / hotel.
It's going to be an old Blockbuster.
They're all.
I hope it's an old Pizza Hut, so it still has the shape of the Pizza Hut.
All the books will be like 3 pages, or there'll be cliff notes. Give me the gist.
Yeah.
All I know is it'll be the tallest building in Cleveland.
With a wall around it. Actually, Andy Anderson and I went to the Gerald Ford Museum, and I don't. Maybe you guys know this. I have never been to a
male model. He was a male model.
Well, he was. It's I guess customary that when the presidential museum is built, that. Hey guys, I'm back. Whew.
Hey.
Yeah.
Ggreg, how's it going?
Good.
So where you at, Ggreg?
Well, I guess I got onto the call quicker than I could really map out what I should go over with you guys before we start. But I'm inside the van, the tour van I'm recording from.
You're in.
Oh,
I thought you said you had booked the conference room at the La Quinta Inn.
I did, and I asked the guy, and this has happened before, because I remember we did it before somewhere else. Oh, we did it in the conference room at the Aloft in Tucson, and the same thing. Like the guy at the front doesn't really know what's available or if I could be allowed in there. But if I make it sound like I'm just making a phone call and I want privacy, then they'll open the door. which is exactly what happened. But he did say there will be a conference. It's set up for a conference that's happening here tomorrow. And I go, all right, well, if you just leave the door open there, I'll go in there in a little while. I'll set it up to do it in like an hour or so. And then
he was like, I need to warn you, they might be announcing the new iPhone in our conference room today, in the La Quinta Inn conference room.
They pick a different location every time.
a guerrilla marketing. I really thought that was vague enough on my part that I could go in there at any time and take care of it. And then I noticed that after like 40 minutes, I was down in the common area right next to where that door is, and I noticed he split, and someone else came in. They had a shift change. So, perfect. Now I can just say, Rigoberto said it was cool, and everything, that'll be fine. But then, like about 10 minutes later, comes a guy with the luggage cart loading in brochures, demonstration materials, luggage, boxes and stuff, and they are setting up the day before. So
I mean, was he a listener?
Affleck.
Did you ask if he was a listener? Because he could have cut us a sweet deal.
I could have been in there with my feet up on the furniture in my underpants, like I usually do the podcast, and it would have been rather embarrassing. But since I hadn't even gone in there, nothing new for me.
You're sitting there in your Spanx with a half shirt.
But I just, by dumb luck, they ended up walking in right before I was going to get the gear and set it up. And I thought, well, we've got a mobile green room in the van. Why don't I just set up a mobile podcast studio as well? And we are in the flight path of Dallas Fort Worth Airport, so you will hear the once in a while.
That's known to be one of the less busy airports. Am I correct?
Oh my God, this one is a nightmare. Yeah, I don't know if you've been. Dallas Fort Worth is where we have to jump off to go to Costa Rica. Oftentimes, and this is one where you really have to watch your connection times because they got a stupid fucking tram that slowly crawls.
You mean ABG gates?
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't even make sense. I go, you sat down with this, and you're in transportation, and you've come up with the worst transportation I've ever seen in my life.
So let me get this straight, George. You want us to go from A to B to G? We're just going to skip C, D, E, F?
Well, no, they're C, D, E, F, but if you're on the wrong train, you'll never get to G.
What? I get it.
Well, you can get to B. What? Well,
yeah,
what's your flight?
Yeah, DFW's POS, so...
Yeah, I guarantee Kennedy fucking didn't have a problem getting shot if they had to fly out of there.
So I'm broadcasting from inside the van. I had a picture I was going to send you guys, and then all of a sudden I just went ahead and made the call and forgot all that. So
that's all good.
Yeah. So I forgot what I was talking about when and another thing that happened was the battery ran out on the recorder. So of course, when I saw that it had 2 bars, I should have just replaced the batteries. So it's a full 3. So now we're there.
Well, do you remember when Doug did that show when Hidden Cameras Attack? He came to Alaska.
Yeah.
And do you remember the guy that they had running the camera? And he was like the biggest flake I've ever seen. Like it was like musical flaky. And every day he would go and buy more batteries.
I think I know who you're talking about. I
remember when little Joe was dressed as a wild animal, and he was.
I wasn't there for that though. I wasn't there for that taping, but I know who you're talking about. You're talking about Keenan's son.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's the one he has all those tapes still.
Yes, he does. We need to track him
down.
How
many years ago was that?
Well, it wasn't as long because I said I'll never let these go to anybody, and I gave it to him, and then he missed a date, and then he moved, and then I went, okay, panic mode.
Yeah,
but
he's
it's
still
not like
editing.
He can do anything with it, but it's still crazy because I bought him a hard drive to put it on too.
Yeah, that's a.
I'd have a drug problem.
Well, it's an issue with John. Weigh in on this. It's an issue when you have something and you know that it's something that you shot or something that is important to you for whatever reason. Handing it over is like handing someone your lungs. It's like,
I never would have done it. I don't know to this day. I said, and I could never find him again. And I was like, then he went to London or something. I don't know what he did.
I've shot a lot of stuff and then handed it to somebody else to edit, and like no matter how badly I don't want to have to be the one to edit it, whatever they make out of it, I'm just upset, and I'm like, what is this garbage?
Well, at least you get to see
he never
it.
gave it back.
Yeah,
he'd be like giving it to him and then going, "Well, I burned it in the yard," and then I'd know where it is because that'd be so much better.
Yeah, I buried it in the woods.
Yeah, we've had a couple of things like that. I mean, I remember I sent everything I shot of Doug. Man, when was it? It was like I started touring off and on with him in 2007, and then what I would do is we would get to a show, and I would work whatever I do production wise with the sound man and the green room and all that stuff. But then I wasn't doing as much merch back then. I would set up sometimes a 3-camera shoot, because I would have cameras that I would set up, and I would get everything going and then just let it roll. And then I would also be recording. So I had a couple years worth of tour footage. And
where is it now?
Well, there's a community college in Santa Monica. I believe they have some of the students there have it. I handed it over.
Known for their quick turnaround time.
Quick
community college students.
I think it was a class credit thing that Hannigan was associated with, and he had some intern kids or someone who was going to be digitizing it, and he has said that rest assured those tapes are safe, but I have not seen them since. So I don't know. It's one of those things.
That's I think I should just do that in my mind. Go, Hennigan told me it was safe, so the kid will get.
So you'll feel better about it.
It makes you feel better.
You'll get yours just as soon as I'll get mine, but yeah, no. At least Hennigan has a vested interest in at least corralling some of those tapes. So it's not like I handed it to a stranger who went to London. Trying to make myself feel better, Becker, but it doesn't.
It doesn't work, does it?
No, it does not at all. So, I do have to announce that I just saw online today that the Doug Stanhope podcast is doing a live podcast in Phoenix on October 26th at the Orpheum in Phoenix, and it's put on by All Things Comedy, which is we're under their umbrella as a podcast, one of the podcasts under their watchful eye. It's the ATC Festival. The All Things Comedy Festival, and it's on October 26th at the Orpheum in Phoenix, and everyone
let's
will
go,
be there.
John.
I might be able to go.
Great. We'll set it up, and the link will be on DougStanhope.com, and I'm sure we'll be tweeting about it. So you got plenty of time, guys.
Yeah, we're in.
Yeah, and then
sick.
That's it. And then, like I said, we're getting ready to. The tour starts off on the 13th, and then we go for 13 days. So we'll be checking in.
That's fantastic. Oh, did you see any destruction on you drove, right? So you drove
I drove north and east. I was up on Route 66 for one night in Tucumcari, and then we drove.
Did you see people on the side of the road just with all their shit?
No, dude. We're way north of that.
Yeah, but I mean, they think they probably kept going, just going.
Keep walking.
We are in Dallas, Addison, Texas, and we were at the Walmart last night picking up a couple of things for the road, and I did notice that, like in Walmart, I mean, this was on a Monday, the water section was completely gone, bottled water, and this is where they have those racks that they set water on, like they have at Home Depot. It's like those big, tall, thick metal steel racks. So, I wonder if that has anything to do with it. But we'll be in Houston on the 14th, and those shows are already sold out.
I heard in Texas, they're pouring the water out and they're filling them with gas. You can't have too much gas.
I guess that's a thing. The gas, huh?
I mean, it was. They said you're creating this. They compared it to It's a Wonderful Life. There's a run on the bank. So everyone filled up their fucking double dually truck that was already half full. And they went, see, they did run out. And they go, yeah, because you did it.
Now, come on now. Y'all don't need water today.
Your dad pays for his car.
Mary, some of your water is over there at Joe's house. And some of Joe's water is over there at Phil's.
And Flint still doesn't have water.
Yeah. What about Flint?
I love that. What about Flint? They go, you didn't have a hurricane. Fuck off.
It's just been 3 years. They'll get to it.
We were just up in Flint, and we were. I don't. Goes without saying, the hotel was kind of on the low end side, and across the street was an old farmers market. So they had a big, large, like asphalt area, and the farmers market had since packed up and left. Turns out you need water to grow stuff. But there was a water filling station, not a filling, but you go there and there's pallets of bottled water brought out every day. You go up, show them your license, and they give you a case of water.
You guys should have been dicks. Went up there and just washed your car with it.
We gave them we bought so much water going to Flint like we were fucking going to Mars or something. And we had so much left over. Andy ran over there with the leftover case, and he's like, hey, we don't need this water. And the guys are like, yeah, just put it down somewhere. They don't fucking give a shit.
Why would you give it to people who already have water? You give it to people who don't have water.
No, they're a distribution center. That's what they're doing.
Yeah,
in
but
Flint.
that's it. They've got water, Greg. They're
It's free. It's free. They're giving out water free at these drop sites. So giving it there would have been better than just leaving it in the room, because then that just goes to the hotel. But
I feel like Andy didn't get treated like the hero he is. You guys should have drove through Flint like a parade and just like throw bottles of water at people.
Like you should have went to 8 Mile and just put one every mile.
Yeah, we kind of stick to the main lit roads in Flint. We don't go too far off the worn path. I did notice how many Coney Island stores there are, or little shops, restaurants. Coney Island, you familiar with?
What does that mean?
Coney Island?
What's that?
It's a Coney Island store.
Well, it's not a store. It's a food place, but they're called Coney Islands or Conies, and it's really just a chili dog on a weird split roll, and they put cheese and onions and shit and mustard. Oh, that's what it is. It's chili and mustard on a hot dog, on a weird split roll, a small split roll. And sometimes the hot dog weenies are a little bit smaller too. That's a thing, right? You've never had one of these?
Is it a good thing?
I've never.
Well, it was a thing where 4 years ago we went to a place and they said the originator, the first, and Doug was like, "What do you mean the fucking first? Coney Island. That's where it comes from." But it actually was. We Wikipedia it, and it was actually someone from Coney Island or from New York, transplanted to Michigan and came up with this wonderful culinary delight.
So he was using the Coney Island moniker, but he didn't invent it there. He invented it when he got there.
Is there like a less well-known Coney Island, Michigan?
No, it's not. Yeah, like a Paris, Nebraska. He moved to Michigan after I don't know, failing in New York or whatever, and then came up with the Coney dog or the Coney Island. And the Coney Island is basically chili and mustard and a hot dog and like a weird shaped bun. I didn't really eat one. By the time it gets to you, you can't see anything but like mustard and chili on top of the mound. So.
That just seems like he invented it. It's almost like that bad Shark Tank person.
Yeah.
Like, well, I put mustard on a chili dog, and they go, "Oh, that's different."
Yeah. So how do you keep anyone else from doing this? Well, I did it first. Who cares? How long will it take someone to figure out this fucking ingenious recipe of taking a can of Denison's chili, some fucking French's mustard, and squirting it on basically a hot dog in a bun?
French dip fight.
Basically, I invented instant diarrhea. You're welcome, world.
Yeah, they're good for about a bite or two. But Becker, you've never seen one of these?
No, I mean, I've usually gone into all the carnival foods that you can get at stops, and I just know I've never seen that, because we did go through. We got the chili fries in Cincinnati one time.
Yeah,
and they claimed they invented it and everything, and I went, "Did you also invent obesity? Because this is like." It was squeezed cheese, chili, and French fries. And they sold at the airport, and they go, "We're thinking about franchising." I go, "To where? Southern Ohio?" I mean,
Lexington. Isn't Cincinnati famous for their, isn't Cincinnati chili like chili on spaghetti instead of like spaghetti sauce?
Oh, you're talking about Skyline.
Yeah, is that a thing, or is that just like a thing that was on Food Network once?
No. Skyline Chili is a thing. It's a can that you can get in the markets, and then there's also shops where little restaurants, like fast food type. But it's like a plate of spaghetti with chili on it, right? Yeah, I guess. I mean, I haven't had that, but I've had Skyline Chili. I mean, I think Jeff Tate brought me a can one time, and I know that I saw him in Wisconsin. A couple of the places like that where you go through a strip mall and there'll be the Skyline Chili shop or whatever it's called. But the Coneys, Coneys I've seen. I remember back the first time I had one was Hedberg ordered them, and you order going through the drive-thru, you ordered like you would anything else, and then you crack it open and who got the mustard, who got this, and I'm like, what the fuck? This is just a hot dog. But they were good. But they'll be like down a street in Flint. There'll be 20 fucking places as you drive a mile or two. They're all over. Speaking of shitty food, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but a local Anchorage comedian and guy who's been trying to get on this podcast since the very beginning of the podcast, Matt Burgoon. He won something recently. KTUU, local NBC station, their like morning news does this thing called the Breakfast Club. Well, they'll like draw a business out of a hat and they'll go there and feed everybody McDonald's breakfast. Oh, and so Burgoon entered his work, his urine testing work, like a drug test facility. Yeah, and he won. But he's the only person there in the morning, and they brought a shitload of food, and the segment's pretty funny. Yeah. I sent you guys the link. It's pretty great, and he's pretty stoked on it, and he looks like a real doofus.
Oh, did they shake his hand?
Oh, they definitely shook his hand. They were like,
because I'd be stoked. Like, I'm not touching the pee testy guy.
They just dropped it off.
They're professionals. They have Purell in the car.
The rest of the people are really backed up. Yeah.
The sound guy for the segment was like, "This is a trick. I ain't going in there. I'm not going into a drug testing place. You motherfuckers. This is an intervention."
I'll quit before you fire me, you assholes.
It's Breakfast Club Aero Health, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And they were so charmed by him. His repugnant attitude really charmed the pants off of them. Well, that's great. So maybe that's out there.
Good for him. He's got a TV credit now.
Yeah. As seen at 6 a.m. on local news.
I'll put a link on the show page. That'll be funny. Oh, Burgoon.
He's funny.
Mm-mm.
I saw an eagle yesterday.
An eagle?
Like near your house?
Yeah, and I was sitting on an evergreen right above our yard with our 3 chihuahuas all floundering around.
Scoping out the dogs?
Yeah, it's a juvenile. It was a juvenile. I thought it was a hawk. And then Becky goes, "That's way too big for a hawk. That's an eagle." And I'm like, "No." And I got my super camera, shot in on it. And yeah, it was a big young eagle eyeballing the dogs.
Well, the juveniles for our out of Alaska residents and anyone who might not know, the juveniles do not have the characteristic bald head of the bald eagle, meaning the white feathers. It's a couple years before they actually get the white feathers on their noggin.
And but the females stay brown, right?
I don't know. That's a good question. That's definitely a Googleable thing. But we were just at the Dallas Zoo yesterday, and they did have a bald eagle there, and not too impressive. The bald eagle when sitting next to the what the fuck was that other one called? There's one in South America. Oh, it's huge.
A golden eagle.
No. But it's in the eagle family. But it's the fucking female is twice as big as the male, and it has a fucking name. It's tied to Greek mythology. The bald eagle's like a medium in size compared to some of the larger eagles. I'll look that up and see if I can find it.
I think I just listened to a episode of Encounters. I'm sure, Becker, you listen to some NPR. I'm sure you've heard Encounters.
Yes, I do.
Isn't that the best show where the guy, he just like goes out and he's like, these fish are spawning, my hand's in the water right now. This is what it sounds like. That's like the whole show.
Yeah. And it happened. Remember, he had a guest that was originally doing it with him and he couldn't make it. So he just rambled like Bill Burr in the wilderness.
Yeah. He's like a boring, dry version of Bill Burr if Bill Burr only talked about like animals in the wind.
And he kind of has a, what's his name? The painter guy. Like
Bob Ross.
Yeah, Bob Ross. Yeah. He kind of has that kind of voice where he goes, and look at the little birds. They're all so sweet. But, half of them are going to die because of predators. Like, what the fuck?
Encounters with Richard Nelson. His name's Richard Nelson. It's such a funny show because he did a whole episode about the wind and he just like was up in a tree when you just hear the wind. And I have questions about how he produces the show because it really is just him talking for like 45 minutes. And so I don't know if he has like notes written down up in a tree with him while he's like spying on owls having sex, or if it's like he records sounds and goes back to the studio. There's some production wizardry, but it's pretty seamless.
Wait a minute. It is, and it's amazing though. It really is. It's a fun show.
Where do you catch this show?
On NPR?
Yeah, they play it on NPR up here. It's on Alaska Public Media, and you can listen to it online.
Yeah, it's carried on other.
I've heard this. Yeah.
Because he went around and did a tour where he went to cities, and they were all. He goes, it was so fun because they were all coming up to me, asking me about this and that from other shows, and then he goes, I should get endorsements for people coming to Alaska. Cause
slow your roll, buddy. There's a lot of people that talk about Alaska. Can't go giving out dollar bills to everyone like Rockefeller on the corner. Jesus. It's a pretty spectacular place all on its own. There were still people coming up here.
He talks about it in a positive way.
Yeah. Hey, the name of that eagle was a harpy. They're huge.
Harpy.
The males are like between 7 and 9 pounds maybe, and the females get between 16 and 20 pounds. They're fucking huge. And then the bald eagle was next to it and was just kind of sitting there, not looking so huge. This is no commentary. I'm just saying that harpy was looked like a motherfucker. I'm sure John, you're looking it up. Are you looking it up?
I'm looking at him right now. They're kind of scary looking too. And I see like the first picture is a harpy holding like a dead rat in its hands.
I don't think there's ever a picture of a harpy without something dead in its talons.
Every picture there's like blood in front of every single one in all the pictures.
They're actually born with a rodent in their actual arm.
Oh my God! I heard that. Wait a minute. The grossest thing. Tracy and I were driving out, and we're listening to the podcast as we're driving to Dallas here. We took 3 days, so we had a couple things we could listen to that I was looking for, and then we were kind of bopping around. And then there's something about I think it was an NPR or something about a horse being born, and
that Garth Brooks music video?
No. But there was something about the hooves on a newborn foal. And Tracy had to look it up because I'm like, what are they talking about? And what happens is when the foal comes out, their hooves. I mean, a horse has to be able to get up right after being born and to be on its feet, right? And that's to be able to run from predators. And what happens is when the horse is born, they have this gelatinous goo, but it's like a protective covering over the hoof. And that until the foal is born, that is protecting the mother from being lacerated while it's being expelled, right? And she showed me a picture of it. It looks like cuttlefish, like the tentacles like withdrawn into a cuttlefish. It is the weirdest like gelatinous like hard goo over the you don't see a hoof in there at all. But it is weird. That's another thing to look up. I'll put it in the show notes. But it is fucking amazing. I've never seen anything like that.
Conveniently, when you look up newborn horse, like it automatically fills in hooves. Everybody wants to know about these things.
Yeah, I'm 51 years old. I remember I had a crazy girlfriend who actually had a horse that ended up being pregnant, and it gave birth while she still owned it. I never even knew any of this.
She didn't know it was pregnant?
She didn't know it was pregnant when she bought it, no. But she was such a dingbat. She left it, she went into debt with the lady who was boarding it because, you know, it's all fine and good and warm and fuzzy when you want the horse. But, you know, who's going to feed it? Who's going to ride it? Who's going to brush it? Who's going to take care of it? Oh, wait a minute. Who's going to pay the bill for fucking boarding this thing for a year, 2 years in a row?
So what, do they just take your horse?
Well, when they found out it was pregnant, the lady who had the boarding facility out there in Anchorage, she just fucking took the horse. And I'm like, well, you know, what are we going to do? Well, I didn't think you should have the horse.
Private school.
What's that?
What if that works the same in like private school? Like, you didn't pay for your kid, we're selling them.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how good the kid does.
I helped film this thing for the Make-A-Wish Foundation a couple years ago, and it was for this girl who was like she had cancer or something, but she was fine at this point. But they were still giving her wish. And one of her things was like to ride horses because she loves horses. Mm-hmm. So we went out and they were doing the horse thing with this guy who has a stable of horses. And the guy who owned the horses, like after they did the ride and everything, was like, "All right, and I'm going to surprise you. That horse you're riding, he's yours now. You get to keep him." And like the parents, like both were like, "Oh, wait, no, that's too kind." Very. Do
you know
very
how
kind,
many bills we have from cancer?
But
and the girl was so excited, and her parents just looked so mad.
And then the announcer, they're filming this, and the announcer's like, "What they don't know is we've switched that horse with a horse with cancer. Now it's a race."
And that horse's wish was to be adopted by a family.
John, you do the Lord's work there. Look at you.
Yeah, you try to make dreams come true.
I didn't think you got your wish if you got cured. I thought that was your wish. You're like, you get your wish. But you
apparently,
get what is it, a genie?
They don't really. Make-A-Wish Foundation doesn't really play hardball. They kind of cave pretty easily.
Isn't that how that's their really cheap way of figuring out whether they got cancer or not? Because if you had cancer, wouldn't your one wish be to not have cancer?
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, that's the problem. That's why these kids, they get screwed because they're like, you met Cher, but you could have been cured.
Wrong wish.
Sorry.
Wrong wish.
Next.
I think they maybe only let it happen because her wish wasn't like, I want to be in a Taylor Swift video. It was like, I want to ride a horse. Like, so I think there's like levels where they're like,
yeah, but
all right.
That's a low. You can knock.
These kids know that they're like walking the fine line of actually getting their wish. So they keep them simple. It's like, what do you want for your birthday? I don't know, a baseball glove. Or a baseball team to come to my house.
Yeah. When the bar's low like that, you can knock out a couple a day. I mean, and there's a lot of cancer out there.
And the flu.
In the wish granting business, that's a win-win. You know, if everybody's happy, you're saving money.
It'd be great though, just to fuck with them, just to go. I'd like my dad to stop cheating on my mom. Well, we'll see what we can do.
Hey, Becker, I'm sure there's some kind of website that you can go to cast your wishes. It'll still be funny to whoever has to answer those emails.
Yeah, that's the same as the wish list on Amazon. That's so funny to me. Put it on your wish list. I go, yeah, on Amazon. Yeah, because you don't have the money to buy it. I mean, what the fuck? Like, things are going to change until they start selling lotto tickets. Stop putting things on your wish list. That's what I would have done in Florida when they were busy evacuating and the keys are going to get hit. I would have just broke into a 7-Eleven and started printing out tickets. It was Saturday. Just sit there printing out fucking Powerball tickets, fucking nonstop.
I think I don't know if you, I wouldn't take the risk of breaking anywhere during a hurricane.
Stick a check in the drawer, the total amount after the drawing that night.
Floridians were very looter conscious. They're guarding everything pretty tight.
Boy, they weren't in those Caribbean islands. You see that? They were just looking like crazy.
Becker, there's video now of people in Florida looting, and it's like, wait a minute, man. There's a fucking this is a news crew in a van goes rolling up on a Foot Locker, and these people are stealing tennis shoes. It's
their right, Greg.
It's
their victim.
But even like with the news crew rolling up, you'd have to think someone has a camera rolling in that thing. And then for tennis shoes, they're not at an army surplus getting a raft. They're getting tennis shoes.
So, because all their other shoes were destroyed in the floods.
I guess they just need more. They deserve it. For God's sakes, they need them to kick down that 1902 statue that's just irritating the shit out of them.
I go to Foot Locker, and in broad daylight, in the light of a mall, I cannot find my size. How are these guys finding their size in the pitch black during a tornado? Hurricane, sorry.
That was
no
a joke
offense.
From Katrina on. Like that one guy was stealing a TV, he's running down the street, and they go, you're not going to have a power for like fucking next 5 weeks, right? So enjoy your TV. Yeah,
then you'll have to steal a Netflix subscription. Where does it end? Where does this end?
Well, I think we know where it ends. Private prisons.
Yes. Yeah, I think they caught a couple of the guys. I think they got like 12 people that were caught on camera stealing tennis shoes. I
got a feeling it was more than 12, but
no, I mean on this one report that I saw.
This one.
Oh yeah. No, there's
the thing about it is do you remember the old days? I remember in the like 70s when like power outs, they go, looters will be shot.
Yeah.
And they did. They shot them, and you know what? They stopped looting because they went, they'll shoot us.
No, in the earthquake movie.
Now we're so worried to shoot people committing crime. We're like, you better wait. Wait for what? Till he kicks out my business I work for? Fuck that.
You remember the movie Earthquake back in the 70s?
Earthquake.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Becker, you remember that?
It was an earthquake.
Yes, I remember.
It might have been Earthquake 79, I believe. It was
that came out.
Yeah, it was Universal. They put part of their special effects on the tour for that. But that was the first time I ever saw something like that. I mean, I grew up in Southern California. I don't remember looting and shit like that, but it was just one of those Dino De Laurentiis kind of like Poseidon Adventure and, craziness happening. The Towering Inferno, another type of movie like that. But I remember the earthquake one that, they definitely had there was looting, and one of the National Guard guys who was kind of a character actor who played kind of despicable dudes. He looked like he's like he went from, B actor to porn. But he was definitely one of these guys that showed up, and he was always the Skivosa, some fucking dirtbag guy. And he was a National Guard guy who was looting and trying to rape chicks and stuff like that. Yeah, feel good movie. Earthquake. I think it was Earthquake 79.
Charlton Heston.
Oh yeah. Chuck
and
was in it.
George Kennedy.
Yeah. George Kennedy did a lot of those, like the airport ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Airplane was a takeoff on the airport movies when they had those were actual dramas, and then they realized it wouldn't be funny to make fun of it.
I'm reading the description of Earthquake. Charlton Heston he starts an affair with somebody during the earthquake. This movie sounds crazy.
Yeah. I can't believe you haven't seen this. They had a bunch of like these natural disaster movies that were, like the Poseidon Adventure, Earthquake, Towering Inferno. Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, mayor of Miami. Yeah, I know it's global warming that caused the hurricane, but in 1925 it wasn't global warming. So shut up.
Well, yeah, there's all sorts.
8,000 people died. They got sandblasted on the beach, they said, in 1925. But I'm sure it was because of our fossil fuel and our large proclivity for plastic from overseas.
I don't know if those are.
I don't know
if that's an apples to apples comparison.
Oh, apples to apples. Yeah. The red one. I want the red one.
We can't get too close to actual facts, guys, so steer clear.
No, but I mean, the thing is, it's just silly to me. It's like hurricanes have been happening in Florida. That's why the Indians moved to Iowa, for God's sakes. They wanted to live on the beach like everybody else, but after your wigwam gets blown down 20, 30,000 times, you go, fuck it, let's move. Not as scenic?
Well, we've got, I'll have some reports for you next week with the podcast, because we'll be hitting Houston, and then we'll hit Pensacola, Tallahassee, Gainesville, Jacksonville, Daytona Beach. We'll be whipping down through Orlando, Tampa, and West Palm is where we end up on the 27th. As far as I know, all those gigs are still solid.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, you literally are going on the hurricane tour.
Yeah. Well, we were actually going to, after West Palm, Tracy and I were going to drive down to the Keys. And now we're just going to go to Disney World and then try and hit Halloween Horror Nights in Universal.
5th time ever they closed Disney World.
I know, isn't that crazy?
It is.
But I mean, I don't think I can't remember the last time I went to Disney World, and Tracy's never been there, so we're gonna give that a spin. I think that's a huge property, though. You can cruise all around there, and they've got Epcot, they've got that one. Universal is connected to Orlando. That's in a kind of a different area, but there's plenty to do.
The Wizarding World of Harry Potter. You got to check out.
Go to the Harry Potter thing. Take pictures.
I think that's probably why she wants to do it. Although I'm not really a Harry Potter kind of. I've never really seen any of the movies. Just not. But Halloween Horror Nights will be good. Universal will be good. I mean,
that's what you got to say all the time as you're dropping thousands of dollars. Just go, it's for the kids.
It's for the kids. Yes.
For the kids. This wouldn't be like intelligent for an adult, but no, it's fun to see a kid on a cable fly across me. That's funny.
I do want to give a tip to anyone going to haunted houses this season. If there is an option for a fast pass, any kind of pay more money and not wait in line, fucking do it. It's the only way to enjoy it, and then move on with your evening. Go to a bar.
I'm just gonna rent a handicapped kid.
You can do that too.
Yeah,
it might be. I don't know which. Well, if you can connect up with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, you're fucking be doing aces. It might not cost anything.
You get to keep it. Anybody getting the new iPhone? Did you see the iPhone announcement? They got rid of they're getting rid of the home button, so you can't go home again.
What's the home button?
The home button was the button you hit on your iPhone to light it up.
Oh, at the bottom?
Does everything? Yeah, they said people are going to have complete panic attacks going,
Hey, Becker, why are you talking? How are you giving us advice about phones? You don't even have a cell phone.
Yeah, I'm mocking it. Now I'm mocking it even more. Now they complete. You know how you're going to turn your phone on now, Greg?
No, I don't know.
Put your face in front of it, and it's going to turn on by face recognition. Because I really want to give you more personal information.
I don't like
that. And by
that.
the way, how do you loan your phone to somebody? You have to send your face with it?
Face peeler. Game of Thrones.
People don't loan their phones to people. that'd be like loaning my dick to somebody. I'm not going to hand it to somebody.
If your wife wanted it, you should take it. Give me your face. But the best part is this face recognition, which I thought was brilliant. Wait till you find out until you put your fucking makeup on. You can't turn your phone on. Yeah, pig.
You have to go do a face wash before you can fucking call someone.
And then the new iWatch. You see the iWatch? They've completely changed that. That's got your heart rate on it now. It gives you live time on your heart rate. Yeah. And it warns you if you're not active and you have a high heart rate. So it's basically a nanny cam. But this isn't even for they're selling it like it's for people, swimmers and all this shit. It's not for that. It's to put on your grandparents so I'll tell you when they're dead. That's all it's for. Here, Grandma, it's ugly. Shut up. Keep it on. Bad enough you got a tattoo in Auschwitz.
I need to find out if I actually I actually turned my pedometer on yesterday at the Dallas Museum. I wonder if that even got me close to my. I don't know what I'm supposed to. What is it? 10,000 a day?
I think 10,000 a day is.
I just hit it yesterday. 10,950.
That's great. Did you throw it in the dryer?
It cost me $30.
It was in the dryer. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, I'm not doing so good today. But
the new iPhone, the new one, like the like high end one, is starting at $1,000. That's a lot of money. That's like too much. Yeah.
I wouldn't pay for that. I don't know. I mean, I have an iPhone. I went out and Tracy actually found the SC5 or something that
the little one, the same one I have.
Yeah, and that was an upgrade from the other one, which it has more memory. But or space on it. But other than that, I don't fucking care. I just didn't want the big one, and it was hard to get this one because they had discontinued them and only certain stores, AT&T stores, had them, and we had to run around in Tucson to find them. But I mean, I saw that $1,000 price tag. Which one do you have, John?
I have the same phone as you.
Yeah. It's not. I mean, can you imagine spending $1,000 on a phone?
Nope.
I knew your answer. But I mean, most people I see have broken phones too.
Oh yeah, They spent all the money on the phone. They forgot about the service plan.
But if anyone had a fucking phone with a crack in it, I would not suggest you spend $1,000 on a phone.
I like having an old shitty phone for just that reason, because I know I'm going to drop it. I know it's going to like go overboard on a boat. I'm going to like drop it down a rocky ravine. A truck is going to run over it. Something dumb is going to happen to it. And I don't want to feel bad.
It's a sunglass thing. You can get really expensive sunglasses. You're going to lose them.
Here's my life advice. If you treat something like shit every day, you don't mind when it's gone. Words to live by.
Gotcha.
Wow, John, that's a great shirt. It's a very hard dating technique. But yeah.
Yep. I just know I don't deserve nice things. That's how I feel.
You're going to love the Coney Dog.
That's your stomach, yeah.
Yep.
How's crime in Anchorage, John?
Oh, the crime update. Here's our weekly crime update in Anchorage.
Yeah.
Things are shitty everywhere, and everybody's mad and robbing and killing each other.
Well, isn't that anywhere?
Yeah, probably. Today there was a triple homicide.
We'll talk about the one first, the one yesterday where your friend was at the lake taking photos of his kid. Nothing creepy. So
a guy I work with was taking photos, like, I don't know, some sort of thing parents do. They take photos of their kids
for graduation or something. But it's graduation's over. It's back to school time.
No, it was like back to school, like photo shoot thing. He's a photographer.
All right.
He treats his kids like we treat our dogs.
Yeah. Probably not as well as we treat our dogs.
Not as well, no.
They were, I think it was Chaille Lake, local lake, and they were doing this photo, and then they noticed there was a bunch of cops on the other side of the lake arresting a guy, and apparently this guy was wanted in relation to a dead body that turned up in a paint shop earlier that day, and they tracked him down, and he tried to run away through a lake and didn't get very far, but the report in the paper says that he was holding a bag that he dropped in the water, and it hasn't been recovered yet.
So we're thinking about starting a derby.
So here we go.
$5 for the bag of money derby.
The price of treble hooks just went up at Fred Meyer.
So that's out there. But I guess like these people who work at like a paint shop showed up to work, and there was just a dead body in the middle of the floor.
Oh, wow. Was there any kind of forced entry, or is there any kind of?
Well, they don't really have that much room, Greg, in a tweet to tell us all the information. They just told us dead body, local business, and then they leave us in the dark. And then they thank the person who called in and told them he's at Chaille Lake because they said it really got us on it right away. Yeah. If you tell the police who did it, where they're at, they'll come arrest them, as long as they don't have to get in the lake.
Well, I guess if you're concerned about safety in Anchorage, you should actually follow the APD so you can find out what's going on when it's happening.
Nobody's robbing Village Inn. They're all there. I keep all my valuables at booth 7 in Village Inn, and it's better than Fort Knox.
I mean, that's basically every episode of Law and Order. Detective Stabler is sitting at a Denny's waiting for somebody to tweet the whereabouts of a pedophile, then he arrests them. I mean, that's how it goes.
He's got his
I guess it's in the lawyer's hands now.
He's got his face in the phone all glowy. It's just kind of swiping up and down, up and down.
Old-fashioned detective work.
Yep. Just you got to put in the hours.
He's denying it. Hit him again. So this morning, now tell him about today.
I
don't know, Greg, have you ever been to the Bouillon Brothers Gold Exchange on Spinard?
The Bouillon Brothers Gold Exchange. I don't think
It's right across from Anchorage Printing.
No, it doesn't ring a bell. I mean, look, come on. Let's face it. No, I would not. There would be no reason for me to go to any gold exchange in Anchorage when I was there.
A store, a foo store, a fa food.
Fa?
It was a restaurant. It wasn't a restaurant.
It was a restaurant over there. It became check cashing and then fa, and then it goes to pawn shop.
It's a place it's next to the ammo can and Pancho's Villa.
Oh, okay, yeah. I know Ammo Can because that's where we used to get some stuff for the band.
So
last place to get bunny boots in town.
So anyway, at the Bouillon Brothers shop, there was a triple homicide.
What?
Yeah.
At 10 a.m. this morning.
At 10 a.m.
It's really cutting into coffee time. But let's not forget on Monday, they offered a $10,000 reward for whoever robbed the gun store on Spenard Road and took guns. But $10,000 is the reward. But I got a feeling the 32 guns they took were worth more than that.
Yeah.
Because they can't kill 3 people quickly before.
I think in the same story that they said there's a $10,000 reward, they said the guns are worth an estimated $30,000.
Sure. Well, I mean, with the guns, you don't have to talk to the person who has the guns. I mean, with the reward, you don't have to talk to the person who has the guns. It's pretty. You're just a snitch. But a triple homicide, that's fucking serious, man. I mean, one homicide is serious, but
we're only getting half a dividend this year, so it's actually to be jaded. It's a good thing.
Wait, they're not having a dividend this year?
We get half of one. They took half, which they said they could never do. Do you remember, Greg?
Yeah. Government wasn't allowed.
I don't think we're getting half. Isn't it capped at a certain amount? So no matter what,
you get 1,000. It would have been almost 27, I think.
So even if 90%, so if 90% of Alaskans die before October, like we still only get that much, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they capped it. There's no incentive to killing people.
Forget that plan. Plan B.
Yeah.
So I mean, it looks like a botched robbery.
Well,
yeah,
sure.
But the police were funny. They said they still don't know what was the motive. I don't know. It's the Golden Bullion Exchange, and they killed 3 employees. I got an idea it was robbery, maybe. I'm no detective.
Those places are usually pretty fortified. I worked for a watering. I worked for a plant company that rented out their plants, and then they sent me to water them and maintain them weekly. And there was a place in Costa Mesa in the Back Bay area, and it was all they did was imported jewels from South America and shit. I mean, and it wasn't like diamonds; it was like
blood
topaz.
Diamonds.
Well, it was like topaz and stuff, right? It was
the stuff they showed you.
Yeah, the stuff exactly. But I mean, to get into there, I knew it was gonna be a pain in the ass. I always started there in the morning because it was more likely before business hours, like regular business hours. But I had to go through 2 doors to get in, and there was always a buzzing and wait till that door shuts type of thing. And this wasn't anything that said gold above the door. This is basically just a door that I knew what was on the other side of it. They didn't have any kind of advertising or anything. So I can imagine, like any of those check cashing places. That thick glass there is there for a reason. And then,
hopefully they had a security cam where you can see what the perp used to get in. It's like, would you like to buy my Rolex?
I mean, and one person overtaking 3 people and killing them.
It was not clear if it was like somebody killed the 3 people or if they shot each other. I guess there was like one person who was arrested in connection to it, but
wow, bad time for the Domino's guy to show up. Get in here, you with the pepperoni up against the wall, man.
And I was just about to go down there and look for a September birthstone for gifts, and now this.
Yeah, that's but yeah, that's what goes on. It's pretty much, it's almost weird now. Now it's almost like when we don't have a murder, like you go, what's wrong? What's going on in the city?
That's
Something's
too bad.
up.
Yeah, that's not the Anchorage I remember. What happened to just fist fights and gunplay? Jesus.
If anybody wants to have a productive discussion about gun rights in America, check out the comment section on that story at adn.com.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Why were they?
Well, I'm sure it was just rife with people saying that's the problem with guns.
That's the problem with guns.
Yeah. No, if those people had had more guns than the guys who came in, then they would be alive today. Don't shoot with your feet.
Yeah. Okay, corral. That's what they need to do.
Yeah. So yeah, other than that, and then it's been it's getting cold. It's getting actually really cold.
I saw that you guys were down in the 50s.
Yeah, it's an interesting temperature.
It sucks.
Well, we're just hit. Dallas is muggy as fuck, but I did realize that Hurricane Irma just went through, and we're basically backtracking the path of the hurricane. We could be in for some weather as we're heading down there. I mean, we end up 15 days, 16 days from now in West Palm Beach, and that's down on the peninsula end of Florida. So yeah, I don't know what kind of weather we're in for. Could be rainy, could be windy, could be sunny.
Oh, the ADN too. The ADN got bought.
$1 million.
$1 million.
Anchorage Dispatch News is the only paper in Anchorage, and
rooted in 1946.
I think they're going to change the name again. I feel like they'll change the name.
Mess with too many things, being you only have $1 million. I keep the same font. They bought it for $1 million, and everybody goes, they were losing. What the story? Get this, the story on the ADN. It's got to be wrong because they said they were losing $1 million a day. I go, well, you can't be losing $1 million. I think it was $18,000 a day they were losing. But $1 million maybe a year. But I don't understand how you're going to turn the paper around when you already are buying in at less than it's worth. Yeah. But this gets rid of all the creditors.
It's a fixer-upper.
But maybe the problem is money to like GCI and everybody. I think they're going to have to find a different. If they're going to do it online, they're going to have to find a different place than GCI to publish it because I got a feeling GCI is going to shut their internet off.
Aren't they? I think there's something about the building. I mean, I can't imagine them moving locations with all those presses. Where the fuck are they going to?
I guess the presses aren't even working right now.
Presses are in the old ADN building, and the ADN offices are actually like over by C Street, like behind by like Buffalo Wild Wings. So they've like moved into like smaller offices.
So like they're just copy and pasting from fucking the AP and Reuters. I don't understand.
Yeah, they didn't pay them $795,000.
Yeah. They have a fairly large staff of reporters, I think, still, but who knows for how long. Hopefully they get to stay. Hopefully they like find a way to keep local reporters.
I mean, the ADN, it seems like being up in Alaska and snow and all that shit, it seems like that would be the perfect paper to just be an online paper.
No, and that's they brought in a guy from Denver. That's what he did to the Denver paper. He turned it around by getting rid of the print. I go, that's not really hard to do.
Well, I mean, you got to know how to do it. I mean, there's a strategy, and this guy seems to have done it.
There's a website.
I'd imagine there's like an advertising thing.
Yeah.
There's a website called Press Room. If you pull up Press Reader, it's called pressreader.com. You'll see exactly how you do a newspaper online.
And what's that?
It comes up as a paper, and when you click on it, it makes the article large, and you can read the article, and then it goes back small, keeps advertising in between, and you go, why don't you just do that? I mean, it's not really hard. I mean, and you can do interactive ads. If you know what, if everybody could understand that, if you do a pop-up ad on me and you run a car commercial, I will never buy your product. You're reverse marketing. Like, I would run ads for your product against me because I would go, that's a fucking one that pops up every time I fucking turn the news on. Fuck you. I hate you. You're shit. I'll never buy your stupid car.
Well, I mean, there's a trade-off there, Becker, with everything. You get a lot of free things when you trade off your eyeballs looking at stupid pop-up ads. Those things. You know,
I don't get with the news one too, where they're trying to get rid of. I hate to say it, they're trying to John us. They're trying to make everything video. You can't even get to the article before it starts trying to fucking stream in the video to tell you what of the article. It's literally, they just repeat everything in the news story that they're going to show you video-wise, and they just have it listed like the transcript.
Videos are super annoying, but the reason they do that is because that's the only type of advertising they can sell. Like, it's really just a problem with like not knowing how to sell advertisements online. So the only way they know how to do it is do annoying.
NASCAR just puts logos on people.
They just stickers.
Like, this man was a victim of a fire, and like stick a fucking logo on it. I go. We're the last two blue circles left.
Hey, you there?
Chaille.
Yeah, I had to start the car because I think the La Quinta, they're on to me.
Oh no!
I was using the La Quinta internet connection, but I realized I'm across the parking lot rather than right next to the building. But we've got internet in the car, so I turned that on, and then I dropped you guys, and I don't know what happened exactly, but I'm back. We should probably wrap it up because it's getting pretty hot in here. It is.
Check your iWatch and see if you lost enough weight.
I had to put the windows up because the mosquitoes were getting me, and then I brought them down just a little bit, but then it's just, let's end this. It's getting hot.
All right. Well, we'll leave with the fact that the hundreds of dead birds were found in the Bering Sea this week. They don't know what caused it, but they're short-tailed shearwaters. They usually migrate.
Doesn't sound ominous at all.
They just found a big pile of them? Well, I guess they'd be floating.
There's hundreds of thousands of dead seabirds that usually should be migrating over. They think they're falling out of the sky and dying.
That's weird.
I tell you, it's China. It's got to be China.
What, you think, like the atmosphere, like the pollution in the air?
No, I think they have some sound thing they shoot up there. They're testing the sound thing, and they just knock the birds out of the air. It's got to be a blast. Dude.
Just for fun?
Just for fun. They're Chinese. They don't care. They got 1 billion people.
And no birds. Zero birds. I'll tell you what they don't knock out of the air. That motherfucking harpy.
There's a giant list of like mass animal deaths. Just in September alone, there's thousands of deaths of fish and birds like every day.
Is there some correlation between the species, or someone floating a theory on the whole thing, like solar flares or the eclipse?
I haven't researched. I've only just begun researching while we were talking, of course. But it's like thousands of dead fish found in Australia, mass die-off of fish in a river in China, thousands of dead fish in a lagoon in Spain, thousands of ducks dead to avian flu in South Africa.
Fucking wind power. That's what's doing it.
Millions of fish die every year at the same time. That's called salmon spawning. I mean, that's when they go upriver. I mean, that would seem weird if birds did the same thing.
Yep.
But if they're in different locations, I mean, what's the connection?
800 birds being found just dropping out of the sky dead. There's something going on.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's not normal. I don't know if you've ever seen them hit a window, but half of those get up and fly off.
But I mean, your assumption that it's the Chinese. I think that's painting with a broad brush there.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Chinese, they've been working on some weird things. And I think when this all washes out, you go, oh, God damn right. If you listen Near the Wild, you knew that the Chinese were doing it.
Yep. You slowly kill everyone in America by having piles of birds fall on entire towns.
I'm not blaming the Chinese. I'm just saying I bet they're your number one suspect. If you don't believe me, check with Equifax. They'll tell you. Remember the place that'll protect your identity. How great is that? Equifax, they lost what?
143 million. That's a 40. I've just read it today. That's why I know it. It's 44% of the United States.
That's every adult in the United States. That is everybody.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta figure the rest all have bad credit.
Yeah, this might be helping some people.
The rest are kids and teenagers who haven't applied for anything yet.
Yeah,
and it's everybody. That's why I'm not worried about Apple like doing face recognition, because whoever wants all of our data, like they already have it.
They already have it.
No, I know. Yeah. But the best part was their whole job was to protect you. Protect you from this, and they fucked up. And the guy goes, "At what point do you just go? Yeah, you can't be a business anymore."
Yeah, it's hard to come back from this one. I mean, they probably will. Fucking one of the other companies will probably buy them, buy their bad press, and then basically use all of their data. I mean, that's what all this is. This is basically data, and that's what I read an article about 23andMe, the company that does the genetic researching thing. You pay $99 to spit in a tube, and then they tell you, if you came from Croatia or something, right?
Yeah, you're sending a stranger your DNA.
But the thing is that that's
now you raped a teacher in Wisconsin.
But that's not the business model. Their business model is not to help you understand your genealogy. Their business model is to have your data and everybody else's data in which to later sell.
Yeah,
that's what that is.
So you get a letter that says, "Congratulations, you're of German descent," and then you get nothing but like ads for lederhosing the rest of your life.
No, you get ads for pancreatic cancer.
You basically paid $99 to give them your information in perpetuity. They can use your data forever. Even if it's not linked to your name, what you've given them, that sample has a value to it, and it will go on indefinitely. And that's the value of that. So whoever,
I don't even lick envelopes.
Exactly.
I won't even lick an envelope. It's like, nope.
The post office, when you buy an envelope, this just happened to me the other day. You go in there and you buy an envelope, and they hand it to you. You lick it right there. I just was like, I figured they'd have an adhesive on there. They still had the fucking gum on the thing, and no one back there. If you gave that to them and it wasn't licked, I don't know what they would do. Go find a dog or run it into the water faucet. But it's illegal it's against their policy. I don't want to say illegal. It's against their policy because I handed it back to me because you have to lick it. I go, what? I just figured it had adhesive. Are we not a civilization?
Well, Ggreg, they were all at the last Christmas party when Jerry was wiping his ass with all the envelopes.
Exactly.
They also have that little thing, the moisture little sponge thing that they stick their thumb in when they're counting the money for postal fees.
Run it over that thing.
Yeah, just say, can I use your little wet blobber?
I don't want to lick it. You just fucking handed it to me. And then the lady behind me, I mean, she was like 78 years old. She's like, oh, now they got your DNA. What the fuck?
Why didn't you have her lick it?
Yeah. Here, lady, bleed one of those gummy eyes on this fucking thing and let's both get on with our day.
I just ran this guy's envelope. It's actually afterbirth from a horse.
Yeah. That's what they could use the hooves for. Just scoop up them hoof covers, and then you can use that. I bet you if you squeezed one, a couple of drops would come out. Yeah, a little gum moistener.
I would love to go to the post office if they had baby horses.
We're talking. This is a great marriage here. This is a marketing boom, right here.
I would go. I would go wait in line if they had baby horses.
Yeah.
You're right, John. That's 100%.
This is
another plane just went over.
That was quick.
Okay, guys, the mosquitoes are killing me. I can't have the windows up anymore.
I got it.
Sorry, I hate to tap out, but I'm glad we got in touch with each other and made it all work, and no one's killing the people I know up in Anchorage.
You have a wonderful trip, and you make sure. Yep. I can't believe you didn't eat the 72-ounce steak. I know.
Yeah.
I'm a big meat eater, but John Candy did it. And he's dead now, but
yeah, well,
could have done it.
I just like the idea that I went in there and I ordered something that I thought was the menu off the wall because you stand in line, but there's no one in there. And I'm like, oh, look, it says this trip to the salad bar and all this stuff. And I go up and I go, hey, where's your salad bar? We don't have one. It's fucking right. I'm looking at a menu from like the 70s. It's part of the decoration.
Menus aren't nostalgia.
I know. What the fuck, man? You got this thing. It's a 72 cents. It says 72 cents for a Sunday. You know, you're going to be answering these questions every day. People are standing in line thinking that's the menu on the wall.
Well, Ggreg, it's less of nostalgia. It's more of just like a memorial to when the health inspectors were more lenient, when they could have a salad bar.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, we had to move on from there.
And you shall again.
It's still a good place to stop. They're smart. They put in vending out in the waiting area by the gift shop. This is the Big Texan in Amarillo. They put vending. They've got a bar where you can actually order a full meal sitting at the bar, and they've got a shooting gallery. They got stuff for the kids, and then they've got a whole area out back where they got a one-man band and a big barbecue thing and all that. So you don't even have to go eat there anymore. They just at one time it was just a restaurant and a gift shop. And they know they got a lot of people kick tires. So yeah, it's worth going in there and checking it out. It was a episode of The Simpsons. So
great.
Right there.
The Big Texan.
Yep. Make a wish.
If I had one wish, it would be to go to the Big Texan.
Big Texan, 72-ounce steak.
I can make that happen.
You've listened to another episode of Near the Wild. I'm Matt Becker, sitting near a pawn shop with 3 dead bodies.
I'm John Norris, wondering where I'm going to pawn off all this old video game gear.
And I'm Ggreg Chaille in Addison, don't call me Dallas, Texas, waiting to get out of this fucking steamy, mosquito-ridden car in the flight path of DFW. I'll see you next week, guys.
Later, Ggreg.
Yep. Be safe.
All right, man.
You've been listening to the Near the Wild podcast with Matt Becker, John Norris, and Ggreg Chaille. Recorded in Anchorage, Alaska on Matt Becker's backyard bus. Produced and engineered in Bisbee, Arizona by Chaille.